Yo, yo, yo. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. What up? All right. So this is gonna be more of a analysis video here, more than I'll be answering questions too and stuff. But I just want to go over some things here. Just kind of go over the charts, go over AMC, Ape, the whole deal. And I want to focus, so I want to focus a lot on that here, not get super sidetracked or anything, because there's some pretty interesting things here, guys, that I am looking at moving forward. I've already kind of gone over with the Discord. So again, you see me here on the channel. I'm trying to be a little bit more active on updating things here every single day. So that is a goal of mine, and I think I'm doing pretty good so far. I don't think I have missed one day here. There might have been one day that I missed, I think over the weekend, but it's going to be about 4 to 5 videos that I'm trying to put out every single week to keep you guys in the loop, okay? So just right off the bat, man, we're going to go over this triple bottom setup here, and I will be talking about the copy path indicator here. So copy path indicator is an indicator that I made. It uses the Fourier transform, fast Fourier transform, to spit out a smoothed out curve using the cycle here on AMC. We're going to be using the daily and the weekly one because they're both projecting the same thing, okay? All right, so let's pull that up. Copy path indicator, here we go. So copy path indicator is projecting this pushback up. What this would do for AMC here, and this is why it's important to track this one. This one here is projecting a triple bottom setup on AMC. So triple bottom setup on AMC actually does line up with the point of interest that we're tracking for December. One thing to note, again, and you can say whatever it is that you want on this, man, but every single run-up that we have had here on AMC has happened on the green portion of the cycle. That is not something that you can debate me on or anything. This shit is happening on the green portion of the cycle. It lines up exactly those 62 days apart. Okay, let's see where it is. Here we go. Let's see. I have so much analysis here, man, that it just gets lost everywhere. So much, so much, so much. Where is it at? Here we go. All right, real quick, go over this. Every single run-up, again, major run-up, I'm not talking about anything else in the cycle. I'm talking about the major run-ups that we've had here. We're talking over 100% run-ups. All of these that you're looking at here are all over 100% from the bottom. So these are major points of interest in the cycle, and they all happen when? On the green portion of the cycle. So we can't ignore that. That's there. That's happening. So if we keep tracking this, it's very likely that the next run-up, because of the correlation here, it's very likely that the next run-up is also going to line up with a point of interest, okay? And again, this is not about me predicting when it's going to happen. We just track the cycle here. That's what we do. We just track the cycle, keep tracking it. And we, looking at the setup here, the TA setup in the end is going to help us come up with that next possible scenario here. They're all scenarios, guys, in the end. There's going to be scenarios, and we're going to keep tracking the cycle. All right, so this current layout here that we have, okay, is projecting, again, using the copy path indicator. And now we are going to go back to the daily chart very slowly so that TradingView does not mess up the charts here. Okay, so it seems like it put it all in place. It's looking good. And we have here the peak on December on the next POI here. Right around the 16th is when the next major run is expected to happen here based on the volatility zones that we're talking about, right? This green portion. So what we're going to do now is bring back the copy path indicator. And what does that do, right? That lines up everything here. It lines up with that next run up. And, you know, the thing to also note here is that, well, this is just one scenario, right? There's multiple scenarios that we can look at. We can look at shorter term runs. I'm going to talk about that too, but I'm going to focus more on this outlook here on AMC because I think it's important. And I also do take a very so I take both a conservative approach when looking at the macro scale of the charts, but I also take a pretty well, not as much of a conservative approach when we do get close to at least the POIs, right, that we have tracked. We have seen a couple here track back to back, okay, back here, both of these, back-to-back POIs on the green portion. We are not in the green portion anymore. We are in the middle of the cycle. And what do we know about the middle of the cycle? Middle of the cycle, normally when you see an inverse point of interest play out, which we saw this one here, if you are not familiar with the cycle, real quick, let's see. Let's take these away for a second so we can see everything a little bit more clear. Oh no, look at that. See, this is what I'm saying. It just, oh no. All right, let's see. Okay, my cycle's out of whack now. No. All right. That's a problem. Let's take the cycle away for a sec. Oh no, trading view, man. Why'd you do that to me, man, right here, right now, live? Not cool. All right, here we go. We're back in business. Okay, here we go. So where are we in the cycle? We're in the blue pattern. And look, just pay attention here for a sec, because, dude, this is fucking crazy. I literally called this shit out on the Discord today, and I was like, guys, where are we in the cycle? Look at this. We are right here. Okay, calling for upside and then a short back down. This is exactly what's happening. Now, you could be like, all right, dude, this is like one pattern you're tracking right now. Not really, dude. We've been tracking the cycle here ever since the inverse POI took place, which you can see the POI here lies right here, right after the projector, okay? Projector part is usually pretty normal, pretty just stagnant here until we get to the POI, which is right here. So as soon as we hit that POI, this entire portion is what you're going to see play out, either inverse or identical. When it's identical, that means that you're going to get some upside. If it's inverse, you're going to get downside, right? Now, typically, when the algorithm is shorting this, it's going to look a little bit prettier because you have this synthetic algorithm trying to compute this sequence here, which is going to look very accurate. So if you take this pattern, just very quickly, right here, you flip it. Right, I've brought this up many times. I just want to bring it up again. But there you have it, right? This is the inverse version of the cycle. And this is exactly what we just experienced right here, okay? So this confirms that the macro POI is inverse, that there is not any upside right here. However, with the inverse points of interest, there normally is a good bit of shorter, so smaller points of interest that play out in the cycle. There's about 2, okay? So, for example, if we come back, let's see, if we come back to this cycle, for example, you can see that there's a couple. So as soon as we had everything touch back down, you can see right here, this is where the POI lies, and it's playing out inverse, right? Okay, you have the cycle, the peak. You can see that everything here that's the inverse version, right, of the cycle. Now, if you come up, we're actually going to track this cycle here just so I can show you the points of interest. So 2 points of interest I always track here are where it's going to be towards the peak and then the blue pattern. Okay, the blue pattern is important. And right now we have what could potentially be a similar setup to what happened December 17th. Shorter POI, all it's going to do is potentially bring us up to the $10 range. And then we might trade sideways for a little bit there before climbing back up. And this is, guys, this is a worst case scenario. If things are not climbing up here in the shorter term, which again, to me, is a it's a pretty conservative approach, but it still doesn't mean that things are not likely to play out here in the shorter term. I'm just putting it out there based on what I'm looking at here in the charts, and we can clearly see that it's tracking identical. The blue pattern is tracking identical. So we're coming down, just like we are here, and the POI normally lies on the blue pattern. It normally lies right here. You're either going to get it on this first short or on this bounce back up. Okay. Between this section is when I think we're going to get some kind of a run up, and it wouldn't surprise me. Why? Because we have earnings coming up. All right, so what does the chart normally tell us when we have earnings? When we have earnings, normally you experience volatility before to create premiums. You got to spike up the premiums, right? If you're a hedge fund, sell them at high premiums, and then whatever happens on earnings, whether these guys are prepping to continue that price action back up and trap both bears and bulls, which could happen. It depends what the algorithm is preparing to do here. And based on the setup, yeah, we've been shorted back down. We know APE is also in a downtrend, and it's currently, trying to head back to levels where, well, let's see, let's pull up AMC plus APE. AMC plus APE. So these levels right here, guys, that we're currently tracking on AMC plus APE are a little bit different. And that is, this chart is going to show us that. This is AMC plus APE. Let's see, 30-minute. Man, I said I didn't want to get sidetracked, but I'm getting sidetracked already. All right, so, okay, just real quick. I did say yesterday, too, that I was expecting a hovering projector to play out here, and it looks like we're about to get that right now. The entire market is doing this. What it does is normally it creates selling pressure to come back and touch a level of support. This is AMC plus APE, right? Worst case scenario, if we were to come down and trade sideways for a day, we would probably start coming up towards the end of the week. So Thursday, if not end of day tomorrow. And let's see where the cycle is projecting that here. So right here, as soon as we come down, going into Thursday, again, POI, this does not indicate downside at all. It's just the POI, guys. Right here and then right here. And this one is 27th would be Thursday, and then Friday. Okay, Friday trade sideways. Makes sense. So I'm going to be paying attention to both of these POIs here, whichever one comes first. It is a range. This is the blue pattern, guys, so it is the more accurate pattern in the entire cycle. And there is a lot of correlation with that. Whenever you have a dry algorithm here in the cycle, normally you do get some volatility here. So yeah, based on this, guys, I'm going to go back to the whole thing I'm tracking here. Macro picture on AMC and APE. So there's a couple of things to track based on this. Okay, so we're going to pull up the quad witching curve, because this is what is going to tell us here a lot. Quad witching curve. Okay, so not only, little by little, 6-hour chart, not only do we have the POI lining up with the cycle, right? But now this specific point of interest here lines up with a very important quad witching date, which is December 16th, okay? So this lines up with the run-up, all right? We got the run-up. This is the peak. Very important hedging date, guys. Remember, the option here is, the cycle here is entirely made up and makes sense because of the option chain. So I believe entirely that the option chain is driving the price of AMC up or down. It's being manipulated through the option chain. So if we know that this curve here is trailing up. Remember, the quad witching curve, all it's doing, it's lining up the highs of wherever we closed on quad witching date. And the last quad witching date we had here was September. We closed above the previous levels. The first time we did that, which was bullish. Then we came back down, right? This doesn't mean that we're going to be, back down on a lower trend, right? Here on this curve, it's clearly indicating that we are headed back up here, right? This is what makes sense. It all lines up. We have this nice curve back up. Now, if this was true, I've already said 3 things here. We have the cycle POI. We have the quad witching curve trending up to this range, which lines up. And then also, the copycat indicator is telling us the same thing. So what does this give us in the end? In the end, this is giving us this layout right here, this triple bottom setup on AMC. Now, if we flip the charts, it even looks better, right? It's typically what you would do if you were looking at a chart inverse. You have 1, 2, 3, okay? And then on the third curve, if we cross resistance here, so this is going to be a very important channel here that we have to cross. Grab your little parallel channel, bring it up. Here you have it. We entered this channel as soon as we crossed below in November. So just think about it this way, guys. In November, the entire market started tracking basically the same cycle because the entire market was being shorted. And the algorithm was shorting everything. Crypto, all sectors, blue chips, everything. We clearly remained in this channel, and we traded sideways in this channel, okay, for almost a year, okay? A year we just traded in this channel back and forth. This to me is picture perfect here. Wyckoffians would call it Wyckoff accumulation. That is what this looks like to me, okay? And another thing that is going to blow your mind here, that blew my mind yesterday, we talked about this on the Discord. I said, when you catch Wyckoff at the right time, if you catch it at the right time, it is probably the best thing you can track. So the fact that we not only have everything here lining up with this next point of interest here, but watch this, dude. Watch this shit. Not that one. Let's see. Here we go. Boom. Wyckoff schematic, accumulation schematic on Wyckoff. Watch. Look at how this shit lines up. Okay, so I'm going to try and make everything look pretty here so you can see. So what is this telling us, guys? This is crazy. Okay, we have a triple bottom setup. Basically is what the Wyckoff schematic is a triple bottom setup. Watch. 1, 2, 3. You got the spring, LPS, SOS, boom, right? So if we line this up with AMC's chart from the moment this cycle is done and over with, right? Because here we broke down on the pennant. They hedged for the $40 contracts, and then they shorted us down here in November. The cycle starts again, right? New cycle. Things start trailing back down. We have A, B, C, D. I took E off. But you can see here, if I line everything up here, not only are the levels hitting, guys, the levels here are being hit, but the structure of this pattern here is extremely accurate, and I've never seen it more accurate. I did pull this out on another time frame here because I can't tell you how many times this schematic here has been used on every time frame here on AMC. That's the point, is that you have to catch it at the right time because patterns are ever evolving, right? They change from something, it can be a wedge, changes into an inverse head and shoulders. It could be a wedge that turns into a cup. It could be a pennant that turns into head and shoulders, whatever. There's just so many that you can pull up. But this one clearly is lining up with the cycle, right? We have SOS right here. And get this. This is the part, it's the cherry on top here, guys. This right here, if this were to play out here according to this time frame that we have here laid out here, which is a triple bottom, come back up to this SOS. Where do you think this lines up here on the next POI? It lines up right here in February of 2023, which, yes, it's a long time from now. Not really, though. The whole thing about the market, guys, is that It's about being patient, right? This play has been a patient play. We've been on the downtrend here. We've traded sideways for more than a year, about to be more than a year now. And this is lining up with every single point of interest in the cycle, as well as lining up with this final point of interest here in February, which is a month after, basically a month after the anniversary of the the meme stocks, 2 years after all meme stocks started to squeeze, right? So yes, I just pointed out, like, I don't know how much evidence here to something like this playing out in the market, right? This is a very important video. Why I wanted to make it a little bit longer here and go over everything. I'm going to make one that specifically talks about these all of the things I just kind of laid out here and go over each one. This is just a very small piece to this this puzzle, right? But in the end, what this is doing, guys, it's just we're trying to narrow down the possibilities. And clearly, this is one that is showing us that, well, all of these run-ups that are lining up here are lining up with schematics, with Wyckoff schematics that we've been, we've tracked in the past, haven't quite played out in the past, but here, this one looks very accurate to me. And then we have the quad witching curve, right? We have the copycat indicator, which takes cycle parameters and spits out its projection here. It also does it on the weekly chart. The weekly chart shows the same thing. From a technical perspective, technical analysis perspective, we have a triple bottom setup. Man, I think I can go on with this because there's so much that lines up with this. It's not even funny, dude. And then, yeah, this is obviously going to be one of the more conservative approaches here on AMC, but it's one that makes sense, and it's one that I'm not going to rule out because, again, we have been running up on the green portion of the cycle, and that has not changed. If we have a run up here on the blue, right here, if we have a run up in between the blue and the red portion of the cycle, then I will say, and I will come out and I will come on here and say, all right, dude, it's the first time that we have had a major run. I'm talking over volatility, guys. The volatility has to look the same way that we have seen play out on all of these points of interest. Now, because we are trading at these levels, this is not something that is impossible, right? Again, we have been trailing down, and I did mention the other day that normally when volume kicks in on AMC, it does tend to rally very quickly depending on, how much suppression is taking place, okay? But if things will trail up and they start getting shorted back down and we create this massive projector, then expect things to play out this way. One more thing that I did not touch based on this is the fractal that we've been covering here. And that fractal is on the previous video I posted. It's called Catapult. Here it is. Now this fractal right here, guys, I'm on the daily chart, so it moved it. It really did just move it, okay? This fractal that you're looking at right here, we just line it up how I had it. There we go. Also lines up with everything I'm showing you right here, except everything is getting screwed up now that I went back on the daily chart. Trading view, bro. Trading view, bro. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. Right there. This is another thing, guys. It's the fractal that's very important here. Also lines up with the copycat indicator. It lines up with the cycle. Remember that as soon as you come and you hit this point here after the projector, right here, it's probably going to be the most important thing to consider with these POIs, these macro POIs, is that the algorithm will speed up to very quickly. Once you're at this stage here, it's no longer tracking the time on the POI. It's going to completely stray away once that bottom is hit here and is established on this level of support here. So as the projector comes up, comes back down right here, the algorithm will completely start tracking something else, and you're going to see it speed up very quickly to line up with the 62-day cycle here, which the peak is right around that 17th of February. Okay, this is very, I'm gonna say this, and I'm actually working on a blueprint. I'd call it a blueprint because I think that this is very likely what things are gonna look into here if we do get more upside and things do start curling back up here, and nothing happens here in the short term, and this is a dry cycle, which we've already confirmed here with an inverse POI. Any kind of upside here that gets rejected back down, it's very likely that we're going to do something like this. I just want to come and say it, man, because I think it's important to lay out all the different scenarios here on AMC, as we've seen time and time before. This isn't anything new. I've said many times, man, you can go back to all the videos, and the thing we do here that's important, I need water, is like the purpose of this, guys, is not to try and just predict things every single, POI here as much as I can possibly do it. You can be, and I said this the other day, dude, you can be one of those guys that is on the same team, right? We're all on the same team. We're trying to figure this whole thing out, track it. You can be a downer, man, and the analogy I talked about was like you can be on the same team, right? Cheering for the same football team, baseball, whatever, and then some dude behind you is just like screaming at you, bro, like, you're wrong. Like, what are you doing? Why are you cheering, man? You're wrong. He's wearing the same t-shirt and everything. Just like, bro, like, we're fucking like, are we cheering for the same team or what? Like, that's Amy right here. We're trying to figure this out. I think things are playing out pretty nice here compared to the setup. I don't think the chart would look really prettier. And then looking at the time frames and everything, tracking the points of interest here, guys, important again, is lining up very nicely. I think this is probably one of the better setups that I've seen, where I'm actually a little bit more comfortable really tracking this, versus tracking anything else. Again, that's not to say that we can't see anything happen here in the shorter term, but it's just a projection based on what I've seen happen in the past and based on what we've seen happen on these run-ups that we have in the cycle, okay? All right, let me take a look at the chat here. I haven't gotten time to do that. And then also, yeah, we do have Ethereum Classic running. We do have Ethereum Classic running, which is good. Let's see. Yep, up 11%. There we go. Yeah, this is, guys, look at this. Ethereum Classic is very likely going to continue this run here, and this is really good already for AMC. Remember, anything above the the 20% range for Ethereum Classic, and you can see that right here on the candle, already becomes a very likely point of interest here that we're going to track here in the coming days on AMC. Remember, right now on these bigger runs, and let me see if I can pull it up with the PFV indicator. I'm not sure. No, it's a little bit, I'm working on it right now. It's going to look a little bit weird. But I can tell you right now, based on that, what the indicator does, it's going to suppress all the volume here that is not relevant to the cycle. And it basically will do something like this, right? Okay, that's the whole point of this indicator and why it's very helpful. It just kind of cancels out and filters out that noise that you don't need. So here, I'm using the copy. So let's see what the copy pat indicator was telling us here on the daily chart for Ethereum. Also, I have some indicators, guys, here that I do use. I've been getting questions on how this stuff works. I just posted a video a couple days ago. It's called cycle indicators. These are indicators that I've been using here for AMC, and basically the entire market works extremely well with spotting a lot of points of interest here. Using this with the copycat indicator is probably a killer tool for a lot of different stocks. The crypto market, I do use the 7 hour a lot. 7 hours, one of my favorite time frames to look at here. Let's see what we got here. PFV. Okay, so you can see here. Let's go on the daily. So here's a daily chart here on Ethereum, and also crypto uses the 3-day and the weekly chart are also going to be very good. So one of the time frames I looked at here specifically for Ethereum, I'm going to pull the weekly again, see how that one looks. Because the indicator, and I said this very clearly, the copycat indicator is not meant to predict price action. It's only meant to show you a better perspective using historical data and patterns. It'll smooth out a curve and spit out very important time frames with the cycle, right? So this right here is just taking everything that's going on back here and giving us a nice range here based on the Fourier transform, okay, which is very important here. Let's go back to the 3-day. And some are going to look very, wacky, like they're going to look inverse or like come back into this like negative range. And that is where you do have to play around with a time frame here to give you a better perspective, because a lot of these cycles, guys, do have their own algorithms that work on very specific time frames. They don't work on the same time frame. So here I can tell you that one of the ones I look at here for crypto a lot is the 3-day, 3-day, the 7 hour, and then coming in here to the minutes. I actually do a lot of seconds here if you're doing like day trades and stuff on crypto, but mostly going to zoom out, man. Stay on the macro scale. But you can see here the projection that we have here, and look at this, dude. Watch. The peak here on this projection is also going to be around that February time, which is a point of interest on the cycle for AMC. We know that both of these do track very closely together. Right now, we are tracking a fractal on Ethereum, not Ethereum Classic, Ethereum, that is telling us and showing us that we are currently heading to that projector pattern, which I believe it was right here on Ethereum. Let's see what Ethereum is looking like. Again, this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Not that something like this can't play out, but the whole purpose of this, guys, is to show you a different perspective, not to tell you that things are going to play out this way at all. So let's see. Go on the weekly. Okay, see, this to me looks a lot better already. I can tell you right now, the weekly chart on Ethereum is looking really nice here. You can see that this spots indicator is telling us it's acting as support and then crosses down here. Pink curve acts as resistance. As soon as you cross resistance, you can even see this projection here coming back down. Say Ethereum does this, curls back down, maybe springs up very quickly and starts climbing. That would be like, I think that would be super doable here. I think that, with the crypto market right now, it's likely that it will still come down a little bit and test one more range before it does start to rally again. I think with this current cycle, we might actually experience an inverse correlation here with the cycle. It's possible, which means that AMC, GameStop, all meme stocks might be tracking ahead this time. We're going to see that very soon. Okay, so we don't have to track one versus the other first. We have to track the one that has the major volatility event first. And right now we haven't seen it yet. So as soon as we get that, man, I think it's going to give us a little bit more information on what we can expect moving forward. But damn, Ethereum is up 10%. Just Ethereum. That's crazy. Ethereum Classic is up 11, going on 12. Yeah, 11%. And then obviously the market is starting to curl back up. I still see a breather here on the SPY in the shorter term, because I am expecting the hovering projector. And there's earnings coming up here very soon, so I think that's going to do something here to the market. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to watch because, man, we are at a current level of, we're coming up to a current level of resistance. Let's see what the 4 hour looks like. favorite time frame to use is the 4-hour for the SPY on the spots indicator. Let's see. Damn, this is crazy, dude. Do I still have the projection? I had like 3 forecasts here. I don't know if I still have them on the chart or not. Here it is. So I've actually, this one I've not changed. It's this one I've had here for probably over a month. And this one right here is calling for, I'm not sure if you guys can even see that. Yeah, you can see it. You can see that these normally play out on the SPY on many time frames. You can see that this entire section here is, yeah, let's see if we can pull this pattern back here and sort of see if they both look similar. They probably look extremely similar, but this is the structure of a pattern that I reference to a lot here in the market, which is, it can be a double bottom, but a lot of the times it turns into a wedge. So these are all wedges basically that turn into something. Like this is a wedge, okay, and then it comes back up. This is just a double bottom, and then this is also a wedge. It's a rising wedge. Right now, it seems like we're playing I mean, as of now, I would consider this a double bottom, but one can say that it's also, it could be a wedge, especially if we come up here, we touch resistance, and then we fall back down. Again, this would definitely be a wedge, and can turn into something you know, a little different. Now on the SPY, I did say this, guys, the copy pat indicator is also projecting a pretty nasty move to the upside, and this is using the weekly chart. I posted this last week, and it's already tracking, man, like, and it's telling us that things are continuing to come back up. Now the weekly chart is extremely powerful. Okay, you can see here on the spots indicator, as soon as we got the cross, we fell back down. Look at this, dude. Massive rally for weeks. You cross right here, and then this becomes resistance, and we have not crossed it yet. You can see we briefly came back up here, fell back down, and then now we're trading on this range here, hovering right over what is resistance right now. You can see that on the trend line here. Look at that, how they intersect. Perfect intersection right here, coming back up. So this is going to be an important test next, especially if we have really good earnings here in the market. This might be an indication, guys, that things will continue to come back up here, and you know, this is going to be our test here in the next couple of months. Coming up here, if we cross, this might be that turning point in the market, and we do start to rally back up. Let's see what the projection is here. Copy pat. Look at that. Changed a little bit over the past couple of days. Previously had a little bit more of a quicker push back up, and now I'm more comfortable actually with this one, because what this is telling us is that it won't be as parabolic going up. There might be one more test or one more fake out before actually climbing back up. And this one here also lines up with what could be the next move for the meme stocks, guys, which is normally you do see the market either bottom or peak, and then as soon as you get that peak here in the market, you will have, you know, the previous days, probably about maybe 4 or 5 days before, you will have the meme stocks rally in preparation for the short here. You know, they use that leverage, guys, the entire market, to be able to short these back down. So it's all timed, like, you know, perfectly. These algorithms will come close together so that they can short the market right after it all ticks down, right? Okay, so let's see. Bruno, can I use the copy pat indicator on the weekly chart for GameStop? Yes, I can. Here you go, GameStop. Also, GameStop is looking really great today. 109% calls that I had sent out yesterday. Actually, the Discord's been really good lately. 5 completed trades this week, 3 of them were 100%, 1 was 60, and 1 expired. So 1 bad trade, and then 4 really, really good trades on the Discord. So that was nice. If you want to check that out, click the link below. Join up, man, and chill it up in there. Right now, expecting the market to just trade a little bit sideways going into tomorrow. And then if we do start to get some pressure, short pressure back down, again, we might experience that hovering projector I had just talked about here in the entire market. Right? So that's nice. Also, we did have, let's see if I can, let's see, I can pull this up here. Want to like do this way, but kind of want to show you guys something here. Okay, so if we also take a look, so how way that I do post the cycle tracker, guys, the points of interest are very simple. It's the analysis I obviously do in the market, and then I just post the weekly points of interest on the website, right? The website you see down below, and you get this with the same benefits with everything here. It's using the cycle. Everything that I use here, you can spot points of interest on the entire market. It's not just AMC and GameStop. But you can see here on, let's go on my little profile here. We had yesterday, and these are all private. That's why there's nothing going on here. But you can see here I posted the POI for Mullen. Okay. And I don't even know if you guys can see this. Yeah, you can see it. POI for Mullen on Sunday, and you can see that we have just played that POI out here. Comes extremely close to that 75-cent range. These contracts went up 200%. We had one on Bed Bath & Beyond right here. This one was a clear one. This was pretty cool. Falls back down first and then rallies all the way back up. These are up like 2,000%. The contracts. Probably the craziest just the craziest setup here is Bed Bath & Beyond was a clear POI since we do have, and we are in the blue pattern. Bed Bath & Beyond is a clear one that you can see would have expected some upside here because so does AMC, so does GameStop. They all line up around the same time. So that was a pretty clear setup. There's only been 3 or 4 POIs this week. 2 already played out. AMC was another one, but AMC is only up 10%, which is good. But the POI here that I'm expecting towards Thursday and Friday has not obviously played out yet because we're still expecting that upside, right? So we'll be looking at that. We'll be tracking that. There's one more on there. It's an earnings play, but and then there's also some coming up for the week after. So yeah, just, I mean, guys, this whole thing, and this is one thing that I tell everybody, like when these things play out, okay, and you have a breather stage here in the cycle and you're not tracking AMC, obviously AMC is one that I specialize in here a lot, but the entire market is going to have points of interest that you can track based on cycle analysis. These sector rotations, guys, are very important in the cycle. It's something that I do here to narrow down all of the levels here where we can expect some upside in the entire market. And I think that, you know, using that is very important here, not just focusing on and waiting, you know, on one play, but really looking at the entire market for opportunities. I think that's very important. So, yeah, just kind of want to lay that out there, man. Make sure everybody is on the same page. I know most of you guys are. It's very important that we don't get caught up in just one thing, and because that's not, you know, that's not how it's supposed to be, guys. It's supposed to be, it's supposed to be, you know, lay out those eggs, man. Multiple baskets, not just one. Becomes a very risky thing, right? But yeah, this is the weekly setup here on the copy pat indicator. And let's see what we have here on the daily chart for GameStop. Again, very, look at that, bro. Come on. This here's like perfect, man, here for the December run-up as well. GameStop is also going to follow a very similar algorithm than AMC on the run-ups. And this right here would not surprise me. I think this looks pretty accurate on this. That lining up with that December run up right here, going up and then coming back down, breathing a little bit before running in February. Okay. Okay. See what else we can look at here. Let's look at AMC. Let's look at Ape too. Ape does not have enough, what do you call it, data here beforehand. So a lot of the indicators you do put on here have to have the ability to just take, certain data here and really ignore what's going on back here, because some indicators will take zero value from the start here and just spit out something that's just completely incorrect. This to me looks pretty ideal here for Ape, I think. As far as the next moves go here, and guys, this is the thing we had talked about previously a couple days ago. All of that stuff is still at play and can still happen. The scenarios that I have brought up here, let me just talk about that real quick, because I think a lot of people are probably wondering how what's up with that. Like, how can we still expect something like that? Yeah, you can still expect something like that, but what are the possibilities of that? And I said this very clearly, guys. If you are tracking a fractal, or if you're tracking something in the market, and you have a clear plan, and you have to, one thing I do here is I check things off as they happen. If they're not happening, that's a hit on that scenario that I'm projecting. If I'm projecting something here and it's not playing out according to plan, that is taking negative points, right? And then you have to start straying away a little bit from that scenario, not hoping that it plays out, right? So, one reason why here, okay, the POI is very clear. It takes about 2 weeks to play out. As soon as you start to see it trend down, okay, you start getting a little bit skeptical, right? Is this going to curl up and finally play out to the upside, or are we going to get some more downside here? And clearly here we had the inverse POI, had already established that here at the peak, so we move on from that, right? Same thing right here. If we are coming up to that blue portion of the cycle, if we start to get a major push up here on both AMC and Ape, then that's going to confirm things a little bit more here if we start running in the shorter term. And I'm talking like a bigger move, right, that we had previously talked about. But if we don't, and we start getting, if we start trading sideways before earnings and we're just stagnant, playing it back down, it's very likely that we are going to start playing out the other scenario that this entire video talks about, which is a more conservative, but more likely scenario. And that is just because we are not, right now, at least this week, we have not gotten like a massive push up or anything. Like, AMC looks great where it's at, up 10% here for the day, but we're still trailing and we're stuck right here at this range. Now, it was something that might happen here. I'll tell you this, dude. Now that I kind of see the charts here playing out, we're actually looking really good right now. Look at this. See the volume. Nice little hovering projector here on the intraday chart. All right, where is this pattern? Okay, let's see. I'm going to find this pattern, man. I'm going to find it. Let's go to Mara. I think it's there. Look at this. Oof. Yo. Okay. Yeah, the other day, me and Rico were live. Not live. We were, I go on Discord with him, and we just look at charts for hours. And I had pulled up this chart here on Mara. You could see it's a projector. Now, it's a clear projector. I mean, the entire market right now is in a projector pattern. And the crazy thing about this display here, and Mara is one of the prettiest charts I've ever seen. It's so pretty. And it's getting ready to start curling back up. Now, there might be a short term, just like we see in every projector, there's normally a fake out. The entire market goes through a fake out event. We have not seen that yet. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see it in the short term in the crypto market. Not specifically the meme sector game here, but like the crypto market might go through this in the short term. Even if it's trailing back up, guys, you might have Ethereum Classic rally and get to a point where it might not take as big of a hit. But, you know, the ones that are trailing and they're trading right below this range here are the ones that are going to get that spring effect. And I think that's going to happen more with like Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin's the one that might get that nasty spring effect before everything starts curling back up. And that's a bearish scenario, but it's, you know, normally you see that with projectors. So Mara is currently in one, and I'm going to take a Mara pattern here because I think AMC is doing something similar. It's doing something similar to this, dude. I always take patterns, guys, for reference. I think it's important to do it because you get those natural fibs, man. Also, man, if you haven't liked this video and shared it with your family and friends, make sure you do that. And subscribe, dude, because I be posting, man. I be posting a lot here lately. I'm trying to be more consistent and post more videos here. I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm on a streak, so hit that little subscribe, man. Okay, so the kind of pattern here that I'm tracking, at least here for Amy, could be like this too. Oh, here we go. That's what it was. I was like, wait, where is it? I'm going to take this whole thing. And what did I say yesterday, guys? I said very likely the market is in a massive projector pattern right now. Short-term projector. This might just look at how accurate this looks, dude. Holy shit. Look at this. Okay. Now, yeah, I would not be paying too much attention to this right here. I just want to show you the volatility zone here in the short term. If this were to come up, say to that 7, you know, that we got, you know, close to that 7 range, say it comes up to 735 and then gets sort of back down here and then trails here for a little bit, right? We're not paying attention to this again. But if it trails sideways here for a little bit and sets up in this projector, which would be considered a hovering projector, a little bit flat, but it is still hovering, then I would expect a bigger push back up. This is where I'm going to take another pattern and show you where I get this reference from. This is Tilray right here. Tilray is also in the same class of the meme stocks, you know, doing the whole deal. 30-minute chart. And Tilray already fucking did it, man. Tilray is one of the things I posted when this happened on Tilray was that this is going to tell us a lot here moving forward what the cycle is doing, what the cycle is going to do. And look at this setup here prior to earnings. So this right here, guys, happened before earnings. Did not happen after. It happened before. Believe a day before. Yeah, it happened the 6th, and then they had earnings, I believe, on the 7th. Let's see. Yep, look at that. Like the timing, guys, right? They decide to release the news before earnings. Like, don't even, like, no chance to get in, just fucking rally. Watch this. This is the projector I'm talking about. Again, short-term bullish case for AMC. You can see here that they're both projectors, and they're both lining up very nicely here. Watch. Right there. Boom, boom. Now this projector here, you can see on Mara, it comes down, but this one does not. This one is definitely more of what we're looking for here because it is hovering. It trades sideways, creates this pennant before breaking up. This one does not. It quickly breaks back down. So it's going to be important here that if we do come up to this range, or not, even if we fell back down, it's still going to be valid. And if we did fall back down, it would look a little bit more like Tilray here. But if we do something like this, right around this range here, when we're expecting that volatility zone, which is the 27th, is when we would either see some upside here or things would come back down. That's why it's going to be important to track this in the short term. If this was not the short-term POI, but I don't think so because volume here is not displaying that for us. You can see that, yes, there's a little bit more volume, but it's not the same that we're used to here on the inverse POIs. The inverse cycles here, whenever we get to these very quick points of interest, they're typically pump and dumps. They look a lot like May 12th. They look a lot like December 17th. Okay, they come up and they come back down. September 30th, December 17th. Okay, so here, something like that would bring the volume here all the way back up here. So the wicks would be very similar in volume. Probably see something like this. And it's going to be like one. You're not going to see multiple ones. It would be a very quick one. So this is what I would be looking to see play out here in the next couple of days. If we are going to experience something like that. And then go from there, dude. Go from there. Keep tracking it. Keep updating it every day. Again, I'm going to post a video soon. And it's going to show everything I covered in this video more in depth of the blueprints that I'm tracking here for the next POI, right? Which is going to be December and then February. Those two are going to be very important dates to track here in the cycle for a potential rally on AMC. All right, guys. I wanted to make this video. I mean, this what did we? Almost an hour here. I'm gonna head back to the Discord here, update some things on there, and go from there. If you do want updates on that, guys, remember, just click the link below. It'll give you info about that. You can join also the Discord. If you just click the link, it'll take you straight there, and you're in, baby. All right, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Happy trading. Bye-bye. Love you.